Welcome back to today's sad reality. I found this game and then literally haven't stopped playing it since I found it. As the game kind of weird, maybe just a little bit, but it's also kind of addictive, so that's why we're playing it. Anyways, welcome back. It's been a minute. I'd say I'm tired, but it's actually not the case for once. It's crazy. Today I woke up and it feels like I actually kind of took care of myself for once, which like doesn't really happen that often, I guess. Maybe I should do that more, I don't know. Um, got up at a decent time, got my day started, everything's been going well. For the most part, I think, at least as far as I can think. Do I have a helmet here? I rolled everything except the helmet. This game's pretty straightforward, though. It's just like, wow, level up your attributes, and then it auto-battles things. Wow, and their skills. Wow, so cool. I love some skills. Um, But what's been going on the past 2 days for me? Nothing too crazy, honestly. Like, why haven't you posted? I don't know. I just didn't feel like it, I guess. I mean, it's not like things haven't been going on. In fact, I have quite a lot to talk about. Allegedly, of course. Never something I would, well, you'll figure it out. Anyways, so I got my ears cleaned out. I already talked about all this, when I was playing Clash Royale the other day. And, man, that was an experience. In fact, I was actually drinking some Sprite earlier. Because I had Sprite when I was sick, and I was like, soda's actually not bad. First time I'd really tried soda in, like, literally years, and I'm like, you know what? I like it. It's carbonation. I used to be like, this burns my nose, but now it doesn't bother me as bad. Um, now, though, it's, one of those things where I'm like, if I have a stuffy nose, carbonation helps me, but where I'm going with this is, I've realized that because my ears were clogged, now I can hear the carbonation as I'm drinking it. Like, if you let it sit in your mouth for a moment, you can hear that in your ears, instead of just, like, feeling it in your mouth. I don't know, maybe that's weird. But I'm like, oh my gosh, the depth of sound is crazy. Even just, like, rubbing my fingers next to my ears, I can hear textures and all sorts of cool things again. And I'll actually be making a short about that, not on this channel, obviously. This channel is, like, the, the child the unwanted child. I don't know. I would say that, well, I don't even really know the best way to describe it. It feels like a culmination of just like everything that's wrong. Maybe that's the best way to put it. But so put out a video just 2 days ago, Sunday, right? Sunday. And that's been doing phenomenally, and I was really happy with that. I think it's doing well in part because of the meme associated, because 6-7, I don't know. But that's cool, and I was really excited by that. I'm just glad that got done, so I took a little bit of a break from this, been working on other things, been trying to get 2 shorts out, another video script, other stuff. And in all seriousness, I just really hadn't had much to talk about until 2 days ago. So yesterday I had off, and then the day before that I worked an 8.5-hour shift. Prior to that was an 8-hour shift, and then prior to that was 10 hour, I think. It was a long weekend, but it wasn't bad, and this week's not going to be too super bad either, I think. What I'm getting to, though, is things in my work have changed a little bit. That's why one of the reasons why I'm so glad that YouTube's doing well, because I'm like, when I come back, should I be scared? Should I not be scared? So there was a rumor circulating that they were doing some restructuring at the business, you know? And for wow, I love spray, but I feel like I'm about to burp and then cough and sneeze. I don't know. Everything in my body's messed up, and it probably will be until forever, or until I actually take care of myself decently. Which, hey, I feel good today, so you can probably tell by however this video is coming across, maybe. But there's a rumor going around that there's some restructuring, and what that means is layoffs and stuff like that. And now I'm totally unaffected by this. I had my own thoughts on like, oh no, they could be sussing me out as the guy who's doing a little too well or whatever. They don't. Business likes money. They don't care if you're doing too well, to my knowledge. Unless things are going like horrendously wrong, maybe. Anyways, so there's this rumor, it's actually circulating on Reddit, and my coworkers found it, and they're like, okay, this is a little funky, maybe we should, like, investigate this a little bit. And the reason this was mentioned was because my manager got a text from my boss saying she was needed on a call yesterday at a certain time, even though she wasn't working that time. Um, and everyone was like, okay, that's interesting. Well, then one of my other coworkers texts me yesterday, and he says, so there's a I have a manager. My manager has the store manager or the store assistant manager. They have the district manager, and there's a guy above that, I think. And then you get to corporate shenanigan territory, executive, whatever. Um, it forms this nice little triangle shape. The point is, so the guy who was like just below corporate came in. He had no idea what was going on. Our store is small. It's not like we're not the big fish to fry. But he walked in the store yesterday. I wasn't there obviously because I was sleeping in a little bit. And he was on his phone. My coworker texts me, and the first thing that apparently this guy says when he walks in, Mr. Almost Executive, is like, this isn't going to be good. I'm thinking, oh no. So my coworker who texts me, he's one of my good friends for a while. We used to play Peak together. It's been a while since I've really like hung out with him outside of work, but I would still say we're friends. I mean, I appreciate him. I think he's funny. Sometimes I'll be filling out stuff at work, and he'll just like hide pens from me, so I'll just have to keep finding pens, stuff like that. I find it funny. I think some people would find it annoying, and I know he does it to other people too, but I think it's playful, I guess. And he was kind of subtly fear-mongering, scaring, I guess. My manager, or my lead, or I guess ex-lead, we'll get to that in a moment, really, it's easy to get overworked about things like that. Like, it's easy to get scared, I guess, especially when it's something that you've known for such a long time. Like, I also just got rid of the helmet there, good job, me. You expect consistency, or like, you expect things to just be fine, like the next day when you walk in. But if it weren't to be the case, that would scare people, I think. And she was like, oh my gosh, are people losing their jobs? What's happening? All this other stuff. And this other coworker's like, yeah, everyone's getting fired and this and that. And he's joking. He doesn't know any of this. None of us do. And he's like rattling off like worst case examples, scenarios, whatever. We're all talking about this, and I don't know. Like, it's also funny. That coworker that I play Peak with, and that manager, they'll like throw things at each other sometimes, or it's retail. Like, nobody really cares. We're here to make, I'd say, a living. That's not really the case. The best out of the worst is probably the best way of putting it. And certainly that probably wasn't the case yesterday. So the point I'm dancing around is, yesterday I got a text a little after 2 when they had that meeting or whatever, because one of my coworkers was working, and I'm pretty sure news got out really fast. But all the leads in the store, every single one of the leads lost their position. Allegedly. Rumor has it. And I'm thinking, oh my gosh, one of two things. Either my coworker friend is screwing with me because he likes to screw with people, and I would think that'd be funny. Or that actually genuinely happened because it looked like everyone was genuinely afraid for everything. So I don't know if that means they all got pay cuts or what that means. I'm totally unaffected. I get paid decently for doing a lot, honestly. Not as much as the people who get paid for less, if that makes sense. Or like, relative to the amount I do, I probably get paid very little, but it didn't affect me because like I'm not a lead. That's not something I really have to care about. My manager said she'd text me if like it was a good thing, whatever, and I'll be like, you know what, I'll be your #1 cheerleader. I'll be like, yeah, that's cool, whatever. I'm guessing it wasn't because I never got that text yesterday, so I'm guessing he's not screwing with me, the coworker I play Peak with. Me trying to go back and forth and use, I don't know. Like, I could just say names, but I'm like, oh, it's the internet. Anonymity and stuff. But, the point is, it's really interesting to me how I think people prepare mentally for these things, because I'm like, man, what if I get fired? Stuff like that. And I'm like, I'm not that important of a person. That's what I told my manager, too. I said, no offense. Neither of us are really that important. I don't think it's anything that's going to be pertinent to us. Ironically enough, it did affect her, I think. I mean, I still have yet to hear or see or whatever. But, like, for me, the way I handle these things, because I know there's no way I have any control over it, is you simply say, okay, I don't have control over this. Why worry about something I cannot control? My humble opinion, I say humble and, I think corporate, they get paid a lot of money to do very little. I think very few of them know what it's actually like to work in the spaces that the people, that the ground work. I think, funny enough, if you were to put someone on the ground at a corporate level for maybe a year or so, they could probably improve a lot just from knowing the stuff, especially if they're not just qualified, but they appreciate their job, they do their best to optimize it. Like, I've got a few coworkers of mine, I'm like, they should honestly go up to, like, our corporate executive level, and they could make so many cool things happen just from the ways that they find ways to optimize things, tell the rest of the team, communicate these things. It's just impressive to me for something like retail where it's so little is expected, so little is given from most people, and so little is received in return, I suppose. But regardless, I don't know. Tomorrow, I'm like, it's either going to be a good day or it's going to be a bad day. I've got 8 to 2 shifts, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Saturday, Sunday are either like 7 or 8 hour shifts, I think, again. Not the worst thing in the world. I don't like 10-hour shifts. Give me a 10-hour shift and I will be like doing very minimal amounts of moving around, doing things, because I know that it's more of a pacing game, but that's not really the way I work. I work in bursts. Like, yesterday I was trying to psych myself up to actually sit down and script write things, because I was like, oh, I need to get things done. I didn't, and that's not a good thing, but, for me, I think the most efficient way I can do things, put me in front of people for an hour, 2 hours, 4, 5 hours maybe. But anything more than that, and it gets slow. And even by the time I get to like a lunch break, for example, the same energy that you had at the beginning isn't the same that you have in the end, so maybe efficiency is down or actual salesmanship's down, whatever. And I don't think that applies to everyone, especially people who there's like zero salesmanship in the first place. Like, a negative modifier to 0 is still just 0, I think, unless it's a subtractive modifier or whatever. This guy's a nerd. He's a nerd. I'm gonna be talking about how people are losing their hearing in short form on YouTube, and how we miss the old internet. Maybe. At least I do. Or what I think it used to be, but perhaps it wasn't always so good. Perhaps the memories are golden, but the actual life itself wasn't. Anyways, thanks for listening to today's Sad Reality. Rumor has it, I guess. I don't know. Don't be afraid of things you can't control. Consequences are for later you, right? That's what we all say as the young people. 'Cause we'll be young forever, you know, guys. We never get old, right? Right? I mean, I sit here listening to this, and I'm like, I don't know. I wouldn't be afraid of anything ever, but I would be cautious. I would be very intentional in the way you maneuver through life and be discerning. But there's very little to fear, except, in my opinion, the greater things at the end of it. So, I will see you in tomorrow's Sad Reality, hopefully. Hopefully I'm not fired or anything, too. I don't know. I mean, again, rumor has it, right? Have a good one, y'all. See you around.